Welcome to the Imaginary Journey YouTube channel. Hope you like this story about a broken promise. Sophie and James had been married for 10 years and had always dreamed of growing old together. They talked about retiring to the countryside, traveling the world, and spending their golden years spoiling their grandchildren. But all those dreams were shattered when James was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Sophie had always been the strong one in their marriage, but the thought of losing James left her feeling helpless and hopeless. They had spent months going from one doctor to another, trying to find a cure or at least some way to prolong James's life. But each doctor's appointment brought more bad news. As James's condition worsened, he became more and more dependent on Sophie. She took care of him day and night, giving him his medication, changing his clothes, and holding his hand through the long, painful nights. James would often tell Sophie that he didn't want her to see him suffer, but she refused to leave his side. She promised him that she would be with him until the end, no matter what. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks turned into months, Sophie began to feel the weight of her promise. She had always been a woman of her word, but she didn't know how much longer she could keep her promise to James. She was exhausted, physically and emotionally, and the thought of watching James suffer any longer was unbearable. One day, as she sat by James's bedside, Sophie realized that she had to break her promise. She couldn't bear to see James suffer any longer, and she knew that the end was near. She whispered to James that it was okay to let go, that she would always love him, and cherish their memories together. James's eyes flickered open for a moment, and he gave her a weak smile. Then he closed his eyes and slipped away. Sophie was devastated by James's death, but she knew that she had done the right thing. She had broken her promise, but in doing so, she had given James the gift of a peaceful, pain-free passing. As she sat alone in their empty house, Sophie thought about all the dreams they had shared and all the promises they had made. Some of those promises had been broken, but their love had never faltered. And that was the promise that mattered most.